everybody, it's Neil Myers from wineexpedition.com. We're here at the Pinot Days tasting at Barker Hangar in Santa Monica. Very excited to be here. And I'm here with Paul Sloan. How are you, Paul?
Very good. Nice to meet you.
Likewise. Paul's Vineyards, it's called Small Vines Wines. But before we taste the wine, Paul, tell us about you. Tell us about your background. I mean, essentially, you're a farmer first and foremost, right?
Correct. Yeah. What happened is I started farming because I tasted a Romanée-Conti as a sommelier at a restaurant that I was the wine steward at. And I started looking into why the French wines were so unique in comparison to California wines. What I determined was the way that they're planting their vineyards and farming their grapes was really the only thing we could do in California to make a profound difference on the style of Pinot Noir we were making. So my wife and I, about 10 years ago, decided to start our farming company, Small Vines Viticulture, which is focused on Burgundian-style vineyard plantings.
So before that, you worked in the restaurant business.
Correct.
And you decided from there to go become a farmer.
Yes.
That's a pretty profound, life-changing decision.
You know, Domaine Romanée-Conti wines are a pretty profound experience.
Fair enough. So that inspired you to go out and start a farming company. And I mean, certainly you hear about, California farming versus European, we irrigate the grapes, et cetera, et cetera. Is that what you're talking about, or does it go deeper than that?
It's really what we're doing is the spacing, and what it comes down to is with Pinot Noir is the most yield-sensitive varietal in the world. So we're looking for a small plant that carries a very small amount of fruit per vine. So small vines, the smaller the vine, the better the wine sort of philosophy.
Hence the name, Small Vines.
And then the shade, the amount of sunlight that directly is in contact with the fruit is also something that they've discovered in Burgundy. So actually protecting the fruit from the sun and keeping the canopy on a vertical, trained vertically so that the sunlight actually ripens the fruit through the leaves rather than direct sun contact on the fruit.
Wow.
And that's how we're able to maintain bright acidity in the wines and capture more old world characteristics.
Actually protecting the fruit from the sun and getting indirect exposure throughout the day.
Exactly.
I'm always, it's always amazing to me, these sort of equal parts science and art that goes into winemaking. I mean, right now you just laid a bunch of science on me and my head is spinning, but that's really what it's about. It's about then when you get into the winemaking, you're got the spice rack out, the oak and everything else, but it's equal parts art and science, really.
Yeah, and that's why I love what I do, is because you get the science part, you really get to get involved in that, but then there's the art with blending and cooperage choices, how much new oak and when to pick. You have all these stylistic decisions, and that's why so many producers that you see here today, every one of us are doing a different expression of Pinot Noir in a fabulous way. So.
And we as a consumer get to try each and every one of them, which is fantastic. So your farming consulting company, what kind of client, who do you work with that we might know?
We have planted an estate vineyard for Tubemogul winery, and we've worked with Paul Hobbs and Red Car Wines, which you've probably heard of down here, and who else? Bill Hunter at Hunter Chasseur, Bill Vianello, Baton Wines, Jeff Bassoni's his winemaker. So just some really fabulous Benovia winery. So some really fabulous producers we've had the opportunity to work with over the years.
So in your journey, in your career path, you went from working in the restaurant business to farming, and then you said, hey, might as well make a little wine for myself.
Well, from the beginning, when I left the restaurant, the intention was to start an estate-grown project, but I had to build up the capital to produce our own wine. So it was the intention of the business model from the beginning to plant vineyards for people and then lease back those properties to produce wine. It just took us from 1998 to 2005 to be able to do that.
I'd say that's a pretty good job to pull it together in 7-8 years and be making wine. That's great.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and with the support of my beautiful wife, we've been able to make it all happen. So
great. So I have a little wine in my glass. What? You're pouring two bottles today. Tell me about what we're drinking first.
The first wine is our 2007 Russian River. This is a blend of 3 different vineyards that we farm organically in the area. We planted all of the vineyards starting in '99 and finishing in 2001.
Right.
So about 7 different clones in this bottling, a lot of different complexities and nuances from the vineyards and the clonal selections. So.
Okay. Nice nose right off the bat. I'm trying to spit today, but it's hard not to swallow a little bit. Just feel that wine go all the way down. Nice long finish. Really pretty fruit. I mean, I'm struck by just really pretty fruit. What's the, so 7 different clones, all Russian River Valley?
All Russian River Valley, yes.
Okay. What's the price point of this wine?
This is a $50 retail.
One more little taster.
It's about 43–45% new oak.
Really nice balance. Okay.
Thank you.
Pouring this one out.
Yeah, we'll pour you a taste of our 2007 MK. It's a single vineyard offering, only 144 cases of this produced.
Wow.
So a very limited wine.
Now, some of the MK grapes in the previous wine we tasted in the blend?
It is,
okay.
yes. So this is from a little bit higher elevation vineyard. So I think you'll see the tannins, the wine's a little more rich and supple, but it also has a little bit more of the forest floor characteristics you tend to get from the Sonoma Coast appellation, which I really love those.
I was going to say higher elevation is probably lower yield in terms of the fruit, but it sounds like the way you farm, those plants are lower yield to begin with.
Our average yield is about 2.5 pounds per vine, which is about 3 to 4 times less than the average in our area.
Wow.
And you know, this vineyard is an incredible vineyard. It's the first vineyard we planted in 1999. All Dijon selections. And the elevation really gives us warmer nights and cooler days.
Right.
So when we get those heat spikes down in the Russian River Valley, where like in 2008, we had several days that were over 100 degrees. It was about 85 to 95 up in this vineyard.
Up there.
And then at nighttime, it doesn't get down into the high 30s and low 40s as regularly, if at all, like the Russian River vineyard. So a little different structure due to that. The acidity manifests in a different way, and I think it makes a beautiful wine.
I was going to say the forest floor, I'm already getting down on the nose.
A little pine needle sort of mushroom.
And I always think of that area around the Russian River Valley, or the Russian River, Sebastopol, and there where you kind of go down, there's that little beach area, and you drive through those redwoods. I mean, it's almost like when I smell this, I think of that. I always say that the Russian River wines, we drove to that whole area, and you get the trees and the wine somehow.
Yeah. Definite expression of terroir. You know, you get the feeling of the place that the fruit is grown and that beautiful forest. This vineyard is surrounded by oak woodland and redwoods, so it's pretty amazing.
I feel like the wine is brighter, but I don't feel like it's necessary too acidic. It's not unbalanced either. It's just a brighter. It's interesting.
I think this wine, the structure, the acidity, it's going to allow the wine to age quite a while. You probably cellar this for 5 to 7 years easily. We keep our consumers informed on what we think they should do with the wines on our website. So as we taste the wines over the years, we always save a few cases. We post those notes. So
nice. My biggest challenge is having the patience to not say, "Oh, come on, let's crack that bottle and have some tonight." This is pretty. What was the price point on this one?
This is a $65 retail.
I can see it. Definitely a special bottle of wine. Well, there you go. Paul, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Nice to meet you guys.
Thanks for joining us. Again, Neil Myers, wineexperts.com. Small Vines Wines. Check them out. Cheers.